Hi, and welcome back. Our next session explores how to create a truly engaging customer experience. Please welcome Paul Mendoza, who is the founder and CEO of Hyperdrive Digital, who'll be moderating this session. Please do send in your questions into the live discussion section that's just to the right of this video, or underneath the video if you're on your mobile phone. Paul, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The shift of customer buying behavior due to the pandemic forces organizations to rethink their strategies and find more meaningful programs to maintain business sustainability and market relevance. Because of this, a lot of companies place customer experience at their core. My name is Paul Mendoza, and I will be your moderator for today. I'm the founder of Hyperdrive, a digital strategy agency helping companies of various sizes and online readiness to compete in the e-commerce space. Together with me in the panel are very inspiring leaders, and it's a huge honor introducing them all to you. First off, our first panelist is Camille Escudero. She is the founder of Lily of the Valley.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
All right, Camille, maybe you can something maybe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Camila Escudero. I am the founder of Lily of the Valley. We are a brand of functional, purposeful, comfortable, and smarter innerwear and loungewear for everyone. We support you through your different life stages, such as puberty, motherhood, pregnancy, transitions, and more. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Camille. Okay, our next panelist is the president and co-founder of Rags to Riches. Please welcome Liz Fernandez Ruiz.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here today. My name is Reese, as Paul mentioned, and I'm the president and co-founder of R2R, or Rags to Riches. And we are a fashion and design house empowering community artisans from the Philippines.
All right. Next is our head of digital networks for Sing Life Philippines, Kame Amado Gomez.
Thanks, Paul. It's Kame.
All right. Thank you. Sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kame Amado Gomez, and I head the B2B2C business model in Sing Life Philippines. So Sing Life is the first and only 100% digital insurance company in the country. And our first foray into the market was through our partnership with GCash's GInsure, which I personally oversee. So being a startup and a mobile-first insurance, customer experience is really at the core of everything that we do. So day in, day out, we really work hard to redefine the status quo and aim to provide value in every interaction that we have with our customers. So I'm grateful for this opportunity today to be able to share with you more of our stories and our learnings. I hope everyone's enjoying their lunch, and yeah, looking forward to a fun and insightful discussion today.
All right. Thank you, Kame. Last but definitely not the least is the loyalty and marketing manager of Philippine 7 Corporation, Dina Santos.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Dina from 7-Eleven Philippines. Basically, what I do is I manage the Click brand. So the Click brand is the brand that 7-Eleven Philippines has that houses the mobile app, the rewards and loyalty program, our closed loop wallet, all bills payment, in-store kiosk, and recently our online stores. So happy to be here today.
All right, so let's start with our questions. So maybe the best first question to start this topic is really defining what is customer experience and what do we mean by the word engaging. So anyone can answer this question.
Let me take on that. I think customer experience is basically the relationship between a business and a brand and its customers. It's every interaction that a brand has to their customer, regardless of the duration. It's how you as a brand and as a business connects to your customer. Engaging is then, I think, to make your customers interact with you more. So for example, for us in a retail loyalty program perspective, how we see or how we measure the engagement of our users is how they frequently or regularly earn points and burn their points. So it's basically both the earning and the burning of the points in the loyalty program that we use to measure the engagement of our members for Click.
All right. How about from your end, Dries? What for you is customer experience? And
Sure.
when we say engaging, what is it?
Sure. So because all of the technical definitions, I'm sure a lot of you here would already know. And those are amazing. So I think I'd relate it more on a personal level when it comes to R2R, because R2R's brand is about joyfulness, it's about meaning. So in that same way, I think customer engagement and customer experience is how they feel about your brand and how you continuously make them feel. What is the gap or what is the need that you are fulfilling in their life? Like for R2R, they're looking for some like products that are beautiful but meaningful at the same time. And when they think about that, they could think about you, and that is your space in their lives. Like that's the relationship you have with them. And how to engage them, for me, it's also about consistency. We definitely measure engagement in the usual ways you measure engagement. So there are tools that you could measure engagement with, but it's also very important to see what kind of engagement you are getting. Is it positive? Is it resonating with your brand and your story and your values? And if it is, then your engagement is very effective, because that means that your brand is fulfilling that need in the customer that you have identified, and you're able to nurture that relationship. So it's a very exciting field. There's no, like, I think the data is important, the numbers are important, the tools are important, but every brand should have your own type of relationship, type of engagement with your customers.
Thank you, Riz. So our next question is, how did you create an engaging customer experience in your own organizations? Maybe Camille can answer this question first.
Thanks so much, Paul. How did we create an engaging customer experience? When we first conceptualized the relaunching of Lily of the Valley, and then I built the website, I wanted to make sure that customers could reach me in every way possible. You could reach us via Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, email, phone, and we even set up this cool chat system. I was so proud of that chat system because it had AI, chatbots, quick response cards, and we could respond from anywhere, And we set up our communications that way so that we could reach anyone from anywhere in the world. Months in, I was realizing that most of our customers would engage with us on Instagram, and those that did engage with us from the chat system would be there during the off hours, and we couldn't respond to them in real time. And also the AI and that fluff was not effective because they were needing specifics, for the questions that they were coming to ask us. And so ultimately we streamlined, our communications. We removed that chat system, and we set specific expectations in terms of our operating hours. And then what we also did was we utilized Instagram. We improved our FAQs and responded to those FAQs in our stories and put them in highlights. Because the customers' questions were really very specific, there would be times when we would call them and do virtual meetings, virtual measurings and fittings. It's a lot of, I mean, it's work and energy intensive, but it was what our customers needed. And we started receiving feedback that, you know, our customer service was great. And now people comment about not just our products, but also our pre-sales and post-sales service.
Thank you, Camille. Actually, that's a reflection also of what Therese mentioned earlier, that there's no one size fits all for customer experience. You really have to understand the needs of your customer. Cami, I know you have experience in this too. Can you share it with us?
Oh, sure, Paul. So when Singlife entered the market, very recently, we entered with a very bold ambition of disrupting an age-old insurance industry. And we decided to do that by going 100% digital. And for us, that meant a lot of unlearning the traditional ways, the traditional thinking, dreaming up new ideas and concepts, and really trying to redefine how insurance is being experienced currently. I guess we're quite lucky that we started with a clean slate, being a startup, and we had that freedom to craft experiences from literal whiteboard sketches. And we were also encouraged to test out the experience that we've designed and iterate and improve as we went ahead, as we went along with the journey of designing the experiences for our customers. So when we were doing these initial design processes, we noticed that most life insurers, or the incumbents currently touting to be digital, say they are focused on CX, but when you really take a look at the experience that they offer, most of them stop at the buy or the purchase journey. And so sure, you can buy insurance online, but activating your policy will probably take you another day or two. And if you want to manage your policy, view your contract, make changes to your policy and file a claim, most probably you would still have to move to another platform and undergo disjointed and manual processes. So we recognize that, wait, this isn't really revolutionizing CX for insurance customers. And in a way, it's also limiting the insurer to actually be able to build a relationship with their customer, because it kind of foster that buy and forget behavior for insurance. And we really didn't want to do that. We really want to move away from that particular execution or experience for the customer. And for us, not having a financial advisor in the equation for Singlife, we decided that in this one aspect, this is the point where we can actually add value for the customer. So now if you try to buy a Singlife product in GCash, you will actually be able to complete the purchase journey in less than 5 minutes. You'll get your policy contract instantly, as in a matter of seconds. You don't have to wait T+1, T+2. You get to view your policy details and even file a claim without having to leave the GCash app. And for me, the best part is that if you want to cancel your policy, you'd receive your refund back in your GCash wallet, real time again. And you can even opt to receive your claim payouts in GCash. So it's really an end-to-end full circle experience. And I'm really proud to share that we've gotten great feedback, not only from our customers, but also from our counterparts in the insurance industry. I guess that's makes it more, fulfilling. And results-wise, we've maintained a high CSAT of 92%, with almost 90% of our customers retaining their policies every month, and almost 7% of them opting to buy another product from Singlife, which is relatively high compared to the industry standard of 2-3% of customers buying another insurance policy.
Wow, 5 minutes. That's huge.
Yeah,
You
should
think
try,
of insurance
guys.
and if you think of the policies and getting insurance in digital or in mobile, that's
Yes.
You'll think it will take very long, right? You
And
mentioned about
everything's in your GCash app. Yep. Yes,
yeah, and you
Paul.
mentioned about CSAT, and I think that's the one of the ultimate measurements for customer experience. No, it's like the net of the positive and negative experiences of a customer for a brand.
That's
Now,
it.
Dina, may I ask you for 7-Eleven, you are catering to a lot of different people in different economic status, right? From the A to E. Um, how do you build this customer experience with them, knowing that they are
Um,
in different market segments?
for us, because again, I'm looking closely at the loyalty members because I handle the Click brand. For us, what we try to do is we try to make the app more functional so that the customer can do a lot more inside it, so we can cater to different segments of the target, also the entire target market. Because one, like the app now, it used to be just rewards and loyalty, but now there are a lot more functions. We have bills payment there, we have remittance. This is a totally different market. Bills payment is a totally different market, remittance is a totally different market. Our points rewards is also, it caters to certain markets. So what we do is we try to make our rewards catalog assortment more diverse, so it has several SKUs that can cater to different segments of the market as well. And then recently we launched our online store, which is our clickgrocery.com. That's also our attempt to make the customers more engaged. I think in the last couple of months during the pandemic, it's really being omni-channel for us that helps. So we partner with a food delivery app, and then we launch our Click Grocery, so that we're no longer just the retail physical store that people know 7-Eleven about. We're in the different channels, so we try to be where the customers are. I think for marketers, because I'm marketer, POV. So that's where we should be. That is how we should be addressing customer experience.
Thank you. Okay, for our next question, what are the challenges? I'm sure all of us in various businesses, we have our own different challenges when it comes to customer experience, because we're catering to different types of customers, whether it's age. For Lily of the Valley, you're basically uh catering to empowerment of women, and it's basically a specific segment, right? And basically for 7-Eleven, targeting all over different economic standing. Are there any challenges that like major ones that uh basically you can think of right now, and how did you overcome these challenges? Anyone can answer your question.
I'm happy to kick this off.
All
That's
right.
an excellent question. We realize that for Lily of the Valley, many of our customers are occupied with either professional work or home work. Um, we relied first on how many likes or followers we had, in our social media. So we would get likes, but not necessarily lots of comments. And we noticed that we noticed their presence in different ways. For example, when we have stories that are truly meaningful and make them feel connected, and Reese had mentioned this earlier about measuring customer engagement. They engage, and these are content that are not even product related. And this was, at first, this boggled us because we sold products, and then how do you communicate by not selling products? So if we were to rely on the number of followers or we had, or comments as a way to measure our engagement, we'd be measuring low. But if we look at our returning customer rate, which was anywhere from 15 to 35% a month, I'm very proud of that. And other stats in our online shop, we know that we are reaching and connecting with the community that we want to connect with.
That's huge, 15 to 35%. Normally, the global standard for repeat purchase is around 20%. You're getting around 35% and more.
Yeah.
May I ask, Reese, how about you? What are the challenges that you have encountered with rags to riches?
So I think our business is very similar to Camille's because we cater to a very specific niche market. So we talk to people, and chances are we are the ones talking to them or our very small team. So things get cascaded. Wala ngang cascade because it's not very there are no layers. So we really get the customer feedback firsthand. So actually, for me, it's not very challenging only because I like it. I think our personality also as a company, we like connecting to our customers directly. So we like talking to them, discussing, really having long chats. See, similar to Camille, our engagement on social media is pretty good, but our engagement on private message and emails and actual sales are much better. I think a lot of our advocates are not are kind of shy in social media. They don't share a lot. I could imagine also for Camille because of course it's undergarments, so you don't want to take a lot of pictures. If it depends on the person. For Arthur, it's the same. A lot of our customers reach out to us via email, so it's very personal. The connection is very personal. We remember the names, we remember the stories, we talk to them as people. The challenge would probably be just the time because we're not a very big company. So we can't be online 24/7. But since we have customers abroad, and sometimes they don't really know, most of the time, people don't really check where you are, like your geography. So they like expect your answer to be like right now. So you have to have the right auto response. But make sure that even if you have the right auto response, you can still respond like really you as a person or your team after they receive the auto reply. But that's a challenge because it's not easy being a small team and managing all these channels.
So Reese, you mentioned a very a good point a while ago that coming up with good customer experience. There's a big factor of having a good personality of the company and culture, right? And for a lot of people, when you mention when they think of customer, they just think of end users. But in fact, there's also customer inside the company, right? And your employees themselves are also your customers. And by having good processes, good technology that they can use to cater to all the things that they need to do, they would be able to provide the experience that you want for your market.
Yeah. And it's actually very important what you mentioned about culture because it's important that your team members love your customers also. Because I think when you're in customer service, sometimes you vent about your customers because there are some problems or there are some issues that are hard to fix. But we make it a point and we're very intentional about it that even if there are problems or issues that customers would raise, we always point out that, hey, they came to us, they care enough to tell us, they're so important to us. We have to put it in perspective. So even if there are issues, they care, and that is so important. That is more than you can ask for. So we put that in perspective and we remain grateful because that kind of culture of how your team would talk to the customers would really come from the management, the team who would also like the people who would also talk to the team members about the customers. So you have to make sure that that culture is nurtured.
Awesome. Kame, do you have anything to add from this from further
Sure.
question?
I think same with Camille, Reese, and Dina. I'm quite fortunate enough to be a part of a company that's innately customer-centric from the get-go. So I guess we didn't really have to go through the usual obstacles or challenges of getting or securing that internal support for CX initiatives. Because I guess it's a basic, I guess, part of the process for us to consider customer experience in everything that we do. But there are still challenges that come with practicing CX, especially in a digital agile setting, like in our case. So one is prioritizing a seemingly never-ending list of CX improvements in your backlog. I guess same with Reese. We're also a very small team, and we really need to pick and choose and prioritize which initiatives we need to work on. So to address this, we make sure that we weigh the customer and business value each of the feature, each of the improvement will deliver, and select or work on the one that will actually contribute the most. Another one is not getting customer feedback fast enough. I guess one of the challenge in being an agile setup is sometimes we fall into this delivery trance and we get lost in all of the deliverables that we need to do, where we just push out one feature or enhancement after another. And sometimes we fail to ask for feedback. And we are trying to be better at this by, I guess, treating these incremental releases as not just features or additional features, but more of experiment or hypotheses that we need to prove or disprove. Because when we treat it that way, then the only way that we can do that is by getting customer feedback and actually analyzing the data that we've gathered.
You mentioned a very good point about feedback, because not because a company measures customer experience that in actually in that field. Just to share, when we were starting with Lazada back in 2012, all the leaders, both local and the co-founders, all the European co-founders, we went to Greenbelt to interview each and every one of the people there. 2012, this is the time where e-commerce is not really that huge. And there's a big stigma about e-commerce because remember, there were group buying sites and there were scams, diba? And people are not really into, are not really trusting online. And Rocket Internet, being a giant in the e-commerce space globally, is humble enough to understand that they don't know the Philippines, and we need to understand what they need and what are the expectations, and that's why we push for cash on delivery, even if cash on delivery is very risky for merchants. But now we know that's a minimum guarantee. If you don't do cash on delivery in your stores, you lose 80% of the potential market, right? So yeah. All right, so let's go to the next question. Any tips you can give for those starting out in their customer experience journey? I'm sure a lot of our audience here would like to know where to start. Kame, maybe you can start answering for this question.
Okay, so I guess my advice for those just starting out in their CX journey, who probably are also battling out internal limitations is to start small. Because when you set out to redesign your end-to-end customer journey in one go, that can seem very daunting. And let's be honest, changing your organization's mindset regarding CX will probably not happen overnight. So pick probably a low-hanging fruit or one particular use case that you believe will make a sizable impact in your organization. Make sure to monitor the results and gather actionable insights from that initiative, because these insights, although small and gained at a small scale but applied often, can be used to build on and continuously improve your overall CX over time. And I guess one more important thing that I learned in my own CX journey is not to treat it like a separate function, or limit your strategy to just the front end experience. I guess there's still this misconception that CX is just the website design or your UX UI design, which is not. CX encompasses almost all aspects in the business. It's a reflection of your brand promise. a good CX will amount to nothing if you don't actually have a good product. Camille, Reese, and Dina would agree to that. And all the pretty screens and interactions that you design will be wasted if you don't have the tech and the supporting back-end processes in place.
Thank you, Kame. How about the others? Any tips you can provide to our audience?
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, so I think for like those that are starting out and you have like a small following or you have a small business, I think it's important to remember that it's better to have like 10 people who absolutely love you than 100,000 people who just kind of like you. So focus on your core, your choir, focus on them. Answer their questions, ask them questions, really engage and get to know them as people. Because that is important in growing that tribe, in growing your community, that you're able to at least talk to a smaller group. So don't get overwhelmed at first that you need so many followers. Because you could see this around social media. You can have so many followers, but they don't really know you. They don't really care so much about your stories. They don't really engage. But you also see that there are a few people with very few followers, but the followers are very engaged and they really care about everything that's happening in your brand, in your life, and they want to help you out. So I think it's more important to talk to a smaller group first and then grow from there rather than be overwhelmed that you need a lot right away.
For me, I think I'm in a quite unique position versus the rest of the panelists because I came from, a big organization like 7-Eleven. But with the loyalty program, how we started is we started by knowing the customers, their profiles, what they buy, how they purchase, where they purchase, and then we try to be where they are. So we bumped up our social media presence. We try to be more engaging with them, like seeing them seeing us on our app, seeing us on their feed, for example. But I think again, going back to the customer experience being every interaction, I think for everyone, it has to be making every interaction worthwhile. For example, if it's a marketing content, make sure they get something out of it. It may be something they learn something for it, they get an offer out of it. It's something that they can get. If it's a customer service call, for example, because they went beyond their, they went out of the way to really engage, it has to be worthwhile for them. If it's an issue, make sure it's addressed. If it's a complaint, make sure that it reaches to whoever needs to hear it. And then these are the things that I think for most companies or the companies like 7-Eleven or like us, that they have already. Like you have your social media, you have your customer service. It's really about boosting it up. I mean, if you're not yet there, maybe it's just again, as Kame mentioned, don't treat it as just that. It's because it's in the entire journey. So if you're not yet there, well, it's always the right time to start. And then especially this time that people are so in social media, like one tweet, one comment can really affect a brand. It's really important for businesses and brands to take care of their customers.
All right. There's actually okay. Please go ahead, Camille. Sorry.
Now, I was going to say that everybody had said, very insightful, things. And to Dina's point, which she had said earlier, first you find out where your customers are and be there. And for Lily of the Valley, it was a slow process for us, to get into where we are now. We had to try different approaches and content. And that's also something, for new businesses who, are starting out. And understanding how your customers engage with you is, very important. That's what Reese had mentioned. And what are the conversations you're having with them online and offline? And how is that engagement translating, to the bottom line? Yeah, so like what Kami said, start small, but be intentional in how you're starting, and then grow from there. And always just learning, getting feedback, and changing little things, and improving the way that we're connecting with our choir, like what Reese said.
Yeah, thank you for that. Getting feedback is very important. And on your internal team, especially for the leaders who are listening to this panel, it's very important to talk with your frontliners. Their customer support, serving lanes, they're the fronter current customer. Reasons is saying that in terms of top three are going to social media. Second one is going to Google. The third one is views. It's not even the own brand's website. No, the third one is actually customer reviews. And for those people who really actually go to the brand's website, it's around 47%, which is less than half of the respondents. So customer reviews plays a big role in brand research now, and that means you don't have to stay within your own company or organization. You have to go out and ask feedback and learn more, so that you can actually fill the gaps and answer those pain points, right? Okay. What are the trends you foresee in the near future? How is the technology helping businesses to create an engaging customer experience? Anyone? Please feel free to answer.
I'll go first. In retail, it's really omni-channel. The last 18 months, more than 18 months already, 20 months already that we've been in this quarantine. But the customers have shifted their buying behavior. So it's really important for retail businesses that you be available, well, whether online or offline. So for us, that's where we are. That's what we're trying to build on. In fact, for marketers, we're working with Facebook on building a solution that will actually enable the brands or partner brands to measure the conversion of their ads online to offline purchases. So it's really being able to connect your online and offline, because digitalization has happened. The move to shift to digital, all studies will say it's 5x faster since 2020. So for retail businesses, and for maybe for most people or most brands, it's really going back to being where the customers are. And omnichannel, I think, is the approach that everyone should take.
How about the others?
I can go next.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Camille. I guess in the financial services and insurance space, we're seeing that personalization will be a defining trend, with customers' ever changing needs, and that change being supercharged because of this pandemic. I guess a one size fits all product or experience won't just cut it anymore. So as early as now, we're using data to offer a level of customization for our customers. We're sure that we offer them solution or products that actually fit their needs. So for example, if you go again to the GCash experience, since we already know the customer's age based on your GCash profile, then when you land on our product page, we can already give you a premium quote that's closer to your profile. Another trend is that we're seeing is that instant everything will be the name of the game, and we're already seeing that with on-demand services, e-commerce sites providing almost instant gratification. Me ordering in Lazada 12 midnight and receiving my order on lunchtime. So customers are now demanding, I guess, that same level of experience, even with other brands that they interact with, even including insurance. So that's why also in Sing Life, there's a conscious effort to really build real-time processes, do away with all the manual paper processes in traditional, I guess, in more traditional setting, eliminating unnecessary steps for the customer, unnecessary info that you need to fill in, and really investing in smarter technologies that can support all these sexy, innovative experiences that we dare to imagine.
Thanks so much for that. And I will go ahead and go next. In the case of Lily of the Valley, we are developing a movement, and we evolve by responding to the needs of the members of our community. And so for businesses like ours who are driven by purpose, we foresee products and services that are purposeful and address social needs. Tech would allow us to expand our reach and perhaps give us different ways of communicating our messages, give us different ways of delivering content, um, maybe new ways of accepting payments is another technology that I'm personally looking at too. Getting feedback because learning about what our community needs is important, and so new ways of getting that information and to allow us to develop our products and services is important for us. It's for us, it's about making more conscious choices and engaging with our audience, with our audience to be able to do that. And similar to what Kami said earlier, personalization with our products, and also adding to post-purchase services such as alterations, customizations, other features that are not necessarily what is in the regular package, but can be customized. What else? Yeah, those things. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I think I'm the last one. I apologize. You could hear the rain. It's so heavy outside. But I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. It depends on the market that you are in. But in general, definitely omni-channel is something that you have to already think about for the future, because people will be online for sure, but they will also get to know you through stores, through activities, through events. So it's something that we have to plan for, especially as hopefully we get to like better days ahead. Another thing that I'm seeing is transparency and authenticity. I think that's not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, there will be more clamor for authenticity and transparency for companies like ours, that people are advocates of R2R because they find meaning in our work and they want to get to know our artisans. I'm also looking for more technology that can help enable us to have like a more transparent supply chain, not just to us because we know what we're doing, but also for the advocates, for our customers. So blockchain tech can definitely help with that, to help the customers see the journey of their products, the traceability of it all from start to finish. I don't know if we could do that right away, but I'm sure it will be a norm someday. And authenticity with everything that you do, with everything that you put out there. Make sure that it has your tone, it has your voice, it has your values. That's why as you get bigger, that becomes more challenging. But that's also why it's more important to establish a culture that can be passed on even to new people as your team grows.
Thank you, guys. Reese mentioned a while ago a reality that we're encountering now, that there's really a shift in customer the buying behavior, and even achieving loyalty. There's even a study that more than 70% of the customers are likely to try new brands now versus their current, the more prominent brands that they were used to for many years. And maybe this question is geared more towards Dina because your expertise is more on loyalty. How do you cater to that, knowing that of course 7-Eleven is a leader brand, and a lot of our customers now are actually well, it's both an opportunity for the challenger brands and a big risk for the leader brands, right? So how do you cater to that idea?
I think that's where marketers should be more focused, I think, now, because again, really because of the increase in the faster digital acceleration, what we're seeing is that most people, they'll do the awareness part of the funnel online. So it's really important that you are there also. That even if you're the bigger brand or the leading brand in your industry, you should always be visible to your customers. So it's a conscious effort to really make yourself visible to everyone. Like, challenge your brand, do something more, offer something more, because at the end of the day, customers, they can always shift. Especially now, about Filipinos were very what do you call it, promo driven, like to to um to customers, where they can get most value of, that's where they'll do. I'm pretty sure us as customers as well, when we do our online shopping, we compare prices from Shopee and Lazada. I think that's true for the rest of the audience, or the rest of everyone. Like, they always compare. So mostly for retail, will carry almost the same assortment. So at the end of the day, it's really what you offer and how visible you are to all of them.
And maybe adding a touch of authenticity and transparency, like what Tris mentioned a while ago, so that the customers know that that you really care for them, right? One topic that was actually mentioned also by Kame and also by Camille a while ago would be yung personalization, right? Coming up with knowing the details about your customers. Of course, this sort of a mix. There's a mix reaction for this because some people would think that hey, we have to protect our data privacy, right? And the brand shouldn't know a lot about me. But there's also a study that a lot of people would actually prefer that when they go to a site, the offers would be custom to their needs. So it's sort of contradicting. So and we know that here in the Philippines is parallel to the European policy for data privacy, which is very strict. And so how do we, how do we balance everything? How do you do it in your company?
For me, we're fortunate we have first party data because we have the loyalty program, so it's easier for us to target them. And then, so what we do, we try to, we don't, of course, information stays with us. There's the data privacy clause in our sign up page when you sign up in the loyalty program, but then we'll make sure that we never use their data outside of the company. And we try to be more strict on that. So we don't just partner with everyone. We try to partner also, or work with brands that we know that will keep, that will value the data privacy as we value it.
How about the others? Do you have something to add?
Yeah, that's similar to us as well, because when we are advocates, we have our own online store, so our advocates have to opt in and to really hopefully read that. I mean, if they don't, we just tell them that who reads? I don't even read it, but like we tell them that, your information is secure with us. We wouldn't spam you. We wouldn't sell your information. Everything is going to be safe with us, and you can opt out anytime. So for us, that's important. That is that you have to be trustworthy, because that this is a long-term game. Trust takes a long time to build, but only like one moment to ruin. So you have to make sure that you're very trustworthy with the information that's given to you. As for like customization, for us, we try to make a system out of personalization, because if not, then all of your resources will be like all over the place, and it will be very hard to manage. So in a way, you try to have a system around mass personalization and mass customization. So you customize within parameters. So in R2R, we do the same. Like we say, okay, these are the products that we have. You can customize color or length or whatever. And because we know that those are the things that we can actually customize given our own capabilities. So I think it's important to know that as well, and not to offer the sun and the moon and the stars and everything and not be able to fulfill them. So it's better to set expectations early so that you don't disappoint people, and that you know exactly what you're capable of, so that you can deliver what you say you will.
Yeah, I want to chime in on that. That
Please go ahead,
definitely,
Camille.
yeah, definitely setting expectations is important. Just an example is for Lily of the Valley, it takes us 2 to 3 weeks to process an order because we make as they are ordered, and also because we offer personalized sizing. Not everyone fits in that, regular standard sizing of small, medium, large, and so we allow our customers to give us their measurements, so that we can adjust patterns to fit their bodies. And yes, getting consent for their information. And so all of our customers have opted in and do know that they need to create accounts on our website, and in order to get rewards and claim rewards. And that was a hard decision I had to make in the beginning, because we were getting so many spam and fraudulent orders. And so while it may be inconvenient for some customers, we have we need customers to create accounts. And for those who don't want to create accounts, they just send us a message and we place the orders for them, and we get the minimum of your name, your number, and address. Yeah, so just being very clear about the information you're getting, and that, and assuring them that it stays with you, and they won't be sold to third party. And yeah.
Yeah, so I think it goes back and aligns very well with Lisa's points earlier on transparency and authenticity. So as brands, we have to be transparent as to why we're collecting their information and what will be the use of that collection. So in our journeys in Singlife, since it's an insurance policy, we really do ask for some quite personal information from the customer. So we try to explain why and what would be the use of this information for us. For example, we would need you to provide your height, your weight, your health profile to help us come up with the best possible price for you. And I guess in terms of authenticity, since as a brand, we really want to offer this more meaningful insurance products to the customers. And we try to be transparent about that particular goal for the customer. So we explain what the output of the information that they would be giving us, or how would that translate into value for them.
Knowing how important customer reviews are, how do you deal with negative reviews? So I remember I was talking to this Amazon marketer like a couple of months ago, and he mentioned that in Amazon, reviews are very important. And one bad review, 1-star rating, you need 20 5-star ratings to actually resolve that, no? In terms of overall ranking and so for your different organizations or for your companies, how do you deal with it?
For Lily of the Valley, we definitely respond to them right away. We contact the customer, we find out, okay, what's, what happened. And if it's something that we can correct, then we will, correct it. But if it was something that we can't do anything about at this moment, say it was about service or miscommunication, then we look at, the entire picture. Was it misinformation or inaccurate information, like about something that we had said on the website? Then, we make that correction. But it's important to connect with that customer right away and let them know that you heard them and that you're doing something about it. And so if we get like a 2-star review, we leave them there because we want people to know that, okay, this can happen. But then, they don't expect the perfect 5-star, but they know that when they engage with us, that they will be responded to.
I think same goes with us. We even for our app review in iOS and Google Play, we respond to what they say, and then again, if it's something that we can address or something that we're already working on, we try to make them understand. But if it's something that not something that we can do in the near future, then we'll just let them be. I mean, at least we kind of answer them and let them know that they've been heard.
Yeah, the same with us also. I think the most important part when it comes to having negative reviews, or even like not so negative but also not positive reviews, is that you acknowledge and you make sure they're heard and that they feel that you are listening. The worst thing you can do is to ignore or be very defensive or go on the offensive. So because there's always something to improve, and it's always on you to improve. So for us, it's the same. If there's a negative review or there are negative comments or information or feedback, and there's something we can definitely do about it, then we do it right away. In our experience, calls actually do better but of course you text them first, because calling out of the blue is stressful. So you text them first, the customers, if you can call them, and then if they respond, if you can. In our experience, they just reply better. Like it doesn't escalate, because they suddenly hear a voice at the end of the line and they know that that's a person who cares for them. And of course, your tone also is very important. But the most important part is to let them know that you're there.
All right. So since we're almost out of time, in 30 seconds, what is the main message that you would like the audience to take away? Maybe each of one can share. Maybe we'll start with Kami.
30 seconds. I think you have to beat, I guess, to succeed in CX. You have to genuinely love your customers, and you have to find it fulfilling that you make them happy. That's it.
All right. Reese?
Sure, Kame actually said it really well. Because if you don't care for your customers, it will show. If you don't really truly love them, it will come out in some way or form. So be genuine, be authentic. So because even if your tone is authentic but you're not, then it's not authentic. So make sure that they know that they are important to you.
Thank you. How about you, Camille?
Yeah, well, similarly, it's important to continue to engage. In the beginning, you may not know how to, but continue to engage and find different ways of engaging, and respond to the ways that they become more responsive, right? And yes, showing that you care and that you're listening, and for us, more importantly, because we are about addressing the needs of our community. So it's important that we hear them and we learn from them.
All right. Very brief final words, Dina.
You may not have the answers for everything that the customer will throw at you, whether on a comment or a call, but at least make sure that you assure them that they heard, and that you'll always give not just a promise, but always try to do better for next time.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for a wonderful and insightful afternoon. And to all the audience, thank you for attending the panel. Have a good day, everyone. Back
Thank
to
you
you,
so
Yara.
much for joining. Our next session is starting very shortly, so do stay tuned for that. Thank you once again for joining, and enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you. Bye.